skies and neon nights, controllers lit like fireflies. OldFreakyGamer in the zone, level up the unknown. Game talk news, it's all a thrill, conquering worlds with skill on skill. Game on, game hard, streaming stars were never far. Game on, game hard, in this conquest we're avatars.
Hello everybody, Mr. Mike here, and you are listening to the GamezAttack podcast, episode 84, A Crippling Industry. How's it going, everybody? Oh boy. Well, the first time I tried doing a little bit of recording of this, or started recording, luckily I'm looking as I'm recording this stuff. I didn't have my mic on. And so I was trying to talk, and I'm looking, I'm like, God darn it, Mr. Mike, you forgot to hit the mic button again. Oh well, doesn't matter how long you do this stuff, trying to do all this stuff myself, which I've always done it myself. It's just sometimes I forget sometimes on some stuff. So welcome everybody. This is the GamezAttack podcast. If you haven't ever listened to this podcast, or ever heard of this podcast, or ever listened or watched my ugly sounding puss, then you're here at the right place, right time, right now, because this is the GamezAttack podcast. This is a gaming video game podcast where I talk about games, the gaming industry, and what they mean to me, and what I've been playing, and what I will be playing and doing, stuff like that. And because I am basically outside the industry, I'm not a gaming journalist, I'm not a game creator or anything like that. I'm not one of those people that gets games handed to me and does reviews about them and talks them up on how great they are all the time. I'm not like that. I'm the guy that's outside. If I like a game, or if I think I'm going to like a game, I purchase the game, or most of my games come on Game Pass as well. So a lot of games on Game Pass, but I do purchase a lot of games. I read news stories from other articles out there that I feel like people might want to listen to and hear my opinions on. And I talk about what I think the industry is doing and how it is going forward. And I don't have no ins on anything. I don't have any back doors to any place or anything like that. I just use my good old noggin here and my brain, and just from years and years of experience of just playing games and watching the industry, like I said, from the outside in, and learning what they do, how they make games, how games are produced, etc., promoted, and put out there for all of us to play. And, I don't say I don't get everything right, but I don't get everything wrong either. And a lot of the inner game journalists and stuff out there, they're so hesitant about, oh yeah, we got to get every single thing done and we got to get it all right there for people, and sometimes they're not always correct, and sometimes there's biasness amongst what they have to say. A lot of times I'm listening to some of these people, and I just go, okay, yeah, you said that. And trust me, I listen to a lot of gaming podcasts out there. I watch a lot of gamer shows and journalists talk and videos and stuff like that. And sometimes when I hear them, I'm like, do you really believe that, or are you just in a bubble? Because a lot of times I think, well, this game is definitely not what you're saying this game is, and a lot of people believe them on what they have to say, but sometimes, I don't know, I have to question what others have said. But here's the great thing about it. Even though there's very few, as they like to say now, game journalists left in the industry, and then you got us, like me, hobbyists out there that are outside the industry still talking about this kind of stuff and doing this stuff, then you got yourself a lot of different areas to listen, to watch, to interact with. You got a lot of different places you can get your gaming news and your gaming whatever industry talk from a lot of choices, and everybody's got some different opinions out there and different techniques and stuff. So there is still a variety of things, and then you can just come up with your own thoughts and conclusions, and either they're correct or not, and that's up to you. You know, I don't try to change people's minds here. I do not really judge. I do some judging, but I don't really judge people that don't do what I like to do and others do. You know, this is a crazy thing that I like to do, and I don't even get fucking paid for it. Sure, I got a little Mr. Mike's tip jar on my website at OldFreakyGamer.com that I like to promote once in a while on every show and stuff. So, but I don't make money from doing this. I got an outside job. I got a job, not even video games. It's in the restaurant industry. I work in the restaurant industry, folks, and I'm talking about video games because you know what? I'm so passionate about that, and I've been doing podcasting since after I got out of high school. I've been podcasting and it wasn't even about video games, really. It was about more so technology and economics and global bullshit and stuff. And then I got sick of it. I'm like, Mr. Mike, why don't you just fucking talk about just video games and the industry and that stuff that you really love and get rid of the extra politics and stuff. Not that there's not much of said politics in the gaming industry, but I try to keep politics somewhat out of it, even though it's hard to, because there's always some bullshit story or something going on. And, you know, gamers have their minds about things that aren't always the best. You know, there's still sides. There's still the PlayStation folks and the Xbox folks. And then you got your PC folks over here. And then you got we just play phone games. Now, I got to tell you one thing. Phone games are really not playing games at all. Fuck the phone game people. Those people are whack. Stay out of that realm right there. You know, it's either console or PC. Stay the fuck out of the phone realm. You know, if you see a guy that's just playing video games on their phone all the time and that's how they feel like is the best way to play games, they can go fuck themselves. I haven't played video games on my phone since the original Droid phones came out, back when smartphones were still new and exciting and stuff. Nowadays, no. Nowadays, if I wanted to test out, like, to see if my Minecraft server's working or something or whatever, I'll go onto my phone and check it out. Or if I want to see if Xbox Cloud Play is working, I'll go onto my phone and go into the little online thing and see if cloud streaming is working or something. That's only just to test stuff out. Otherwise, I don't want to play on my phone. That's way too small of a screen. The smallest screen I will play on is my Xbox ROG Ally X screen, which is 7 inches of 120 hertz, beautiful, crisp, clear vision that I get for my games. And a lot of people can't even play on that small of a screen. I hear a lot of the older guys going, my eyes suck. I can't play Call of Duty on that little screen because these guys are little pixels. And I'm like, well, you know, what can I say? I can't say anything. Your eyes suck so bad. Yes, you must play on a big screen or, a giant screen. Or get a VR headset, because then the screens are right up against your eyeballs and you could see everything, right? Wouldn't that fix everything? Valve is coming out with their new VR headset, and you can definitely play all your games into that, depending on how much that costs, of course. But, gaming, I love gaming. I love playing games. Even though sometimes I don't play as many games, sometimes I do get to play a lot of games. And I've been pushing to try to get a lot more gaming in now, even though I've been doing a lot of other stuff. And, I tend to try to do other stuff as well and not just, I don't want to say this badly, but waste my whole day playing games. I would love to waste my whole day playing games, but I'm just not that kind of a person anymore. There's so much to do. When you own your own home and you got stuff to do, you gotta get your shit done, or else everything just falls apart around you. And trust me, I'm not the person that owns a home and pushes all the work to and pays people to do work for me around my house and do all that stuff. I do it myself because that's what a true homeowner does. Learns how to things work and tries to fix them himself. Enough about that. Let's talk about video games and stuff and the industry in general that is crippling by the day. By the day. So I come on here. I talk to you hear it all the time from everybody else. And, you know, I try to hammer it home with trying to make it more simple for people that just don't understand what's going on. But basically, if you know anything about anything in the industry out there, and this is even beyond gaming in the gaming industry and what companies are doing now, and a lot of companies are trying to get into the AI bullshit. That is AI bullshit. Now, I don't purely hate AI like a lot of people do out there. I just dislike how AI has been used and where it is going. And I think that AI should be, you know, utilized a lot less and promoted a lot less. And people don't do that. People tend to just push AI and they think it's going to be the end all be all of everything. They think it's going to cancel all these jobs out and people shouldn't worry about them losing their jobs because eventually we're going to have an environment where everybody just has money or doesn't need money. You know, like I always talk about the Star Trek type of world. Oh, and on top of it, we've got a windstorm now. So if my power goes out during this podcast, well, then fuck this podcast because as I'm recording this on Sunday, of course, weather in Buffalo, New York gets good, bad. Then it's super wind and snow, wind and rain, whatever it is outside it's doing. I was just looking outside a little bit earlier. It was snowing, and then it got really warmish, and then it dried up, and everything melted on my car and stuff, and now it's snowing again, or it's a windstorm. It's supposed to go till 10 at night tonight. So hopefully I don't lose my power because I will be really pissed off because that's the worst time to lose power is on the weekend. When you're not working. I don't mind losing power when I'm at work. Monday through Friday, when I'm at work, you can lose power here. I don't care. And I don't have a backup generator, at least not yet. I'm still looking into one, but I don't know if I should get one because I haven't been losing power that much lately. Back earlier in my years of this house, we used to lose power a lot around this neighborhood. And it seems like it's gotten better even during winds and superstorms and stuff. But we lost power, what was it, a few days ago? A little bit, but then it came back on like 9-10 minutes later. So I'm not too worried about that. But you never know. It's Buffalo, New York. Our weather, like everywhere else, is crazy. But back into the AI, away from this storm stuff that I'm hearing in my background here. People out there think AI is going to be the end-all be-all. They think it's going to be sentient. They think it's going to solve all the problems. It's going to help businesses run and manage themselves a lot better without the need for employees and stuff. And, you know, I don't believe that. I don't believe it's anywhere near that. And these companies that keep proclaiming that that's what's going to happen, I think they're just super narrow-minded or they're just completely out of their minds. That's what I think. I think AI and what it will be even in the future is a good helping companion. Like, it does a lot of cool little tricks. It can get rid of stuff like out of pictures and stuff with, you know, like what I do here where I do my fake green screen thing, which I don't even use a green screen. It's just NVIDIA broadcast taking out the background of my background and I don't even need a green screen anymore. That's using some sort of AI processing and stuff like that. That's basically what AI is going to do. It's going to help us with our art, music, videos, stuff like that. Like I said, I use it for my show music, because, I can't play instruments or anything like that. I'm not really a good singer or anything like that. So I just type in a bunch of phrases and words, and sometimes I'll have a melody or something I want to type in there, and I put it into there, and the AI creates a nice little tune for my, this podcast and stuff. And that's cool. I think that's very helpful to me, and it makes my podcast sound a lot better than me just getting some random music. And this can actually put the tones of what I'm doing in the music into my art and stuff like that. And it helps me out. It helps me out, and it does its job that it can do. Because if I was to find somebody to make a little jingle of my podcast or something, I'd probably have to pay him a good bit of money. And where are you going to find one of those people? That's more difficult for me to find, is a person that's willing to get me a little jingle for my thing and not get paid a boatload of money or something to do it. I don't know. Because like I said, everything's expensive, even making little jingles and stuff like that. And this is where AI helps a little bit. Now, it replacing jobs and businesses and stuff and making video games and such, I don't think that's the case. And you can look at some games out there that tried to put in a lot of AI. They're getting a lot of pushback, and a lot of people are saying, oh no, a lot of gamers out there are going, no, fuck you. You're putting AI art and stuff into your game? Fuck that. I'm not buying your game. Why should I pay all this money when you're not paying an actual person to do artwork or music or something in that game, That I can understand. That I can fully understand. And it's just at the time where, what is it? Is Call of Duty 7 have some AI stuff bullshit in there? I think somebody was saying about something AI-ish. I think every game that we're seeing, and a lot of these game companies want to see if they could get away with it too without saying it, and see if people notice it. And then people, of course, notice it, and then they say, yeah, we used a little bit of AI, so what? And then people get really mad, and then they're like, okay, we're going to take out all this AI stuff, or we're going to change it and put some actual people's work. It's going to be that continuation. And then you got people like Microsoft thinking, oh, AI might start making video games for us. It'll make video games a lot easier to make because they'll be made by AI. And it's like, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think so. And if it does, it's going to be the worst crap ever. I don't care how good your AI is. And I hear all the time that ChatGPT and anything that Microsoft has AI is crappy and horrible anyways. I hear Google's whatever AI is pretty good. You got Grok. A lot of people either hate Grok or love Grok because of Elon Musk and stuff like that. But I hear you could do a lot of funny shit in Grok. I tried it out once. It didn't seem to work. I gotta try it out again and see if I can get something done in Grok. But yeah, a lot of people have their likes or dislikes, and I think it's just because Elon. He's such a weird guy, and he's sometimes he's got his backwards way of thinking and a lot of stuff, and he's just one of those guys. What can you expect from Elon? He's just out of there. He's out of it. He thinks he's plugged in like the Matrix and stuff. So you can't, I don't blame him for a lot of stuff. He could do a lot better. But like I said, I think he believes too much in, this is being a virtual reality syndrome. But yeah, but these companies, they think AI is the end all be all, if they believe it or not, and they're tricking all these stupid people that are in the stock market and stuff and putting money into these companies because of AI. And a lot of these people won't put money into companies unless if they got some AI-centric goals in mind. And it is really narrow-minded and stupid. And I'm not the only one that just says this. Everybody says it, and they still do it. And they ignore the masses on saying, what are you doing? And it's not like the masses would be saying, what the fuck are you doing? If they did it on a more narrow scale, like, oh yeah, do your AI thing, but make sure it's over here on the side And then until you bring that up slowly and get it really good, then you can slowly integrate it with things that you think would be necessary for AI to be with, instead of trying to push AI into every single thing that you do, which is really stupid, because then it just gets in the way of progress for everything else on top of it, like video games and the game industry and software and all this other stuff. And it's costly. It's very costly and very wasteful. Companies like Microsoft are wasting billions and billions of dollars it's not even been that many years, but every year, every month and year. And this whole, they're so-called making all this money. They're not, because they're just shuffling around the rest of the industry, which they're all just passing along. Microsoft's passing the ChatGPT to Google, to this, to NVIDIA, back to Microsoft, back to them, and back and forth, back and forth. It's not really them making money. It's them having a virtual, a virtual jerk off between each other, and that's all they're doing. And touting, this is going to be the best, our AI, this is ChatGPT 6 or whatever they're at now, and this is Copilot, blah, 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 and it's like, and then you got the regular Joe Schmoes like me and you that just go, fuck AI, fuck it. Me less, but I know a lot of people that just say, fucking AI is the worst. It's the dumbest thing. And here's the worst thing. A lot of the stock market and a lot of people's 401ks are a part of that so-called AI boom and bubble and stuff like that. And that's not good either, because when that bubble pops and everybody everywhere says this bubble is going to pop, I'm waiting for this bubble to pop. I wish I could just go up to this virtual AI bubble and just pop it myself. I just want to poke it. Let me poke the bubble. Come on, people. Let me poke the bubble. Here, poke, pop. Let's see what shitstorm it'll cause the global finance industry and the stock market and everything. I want to see it all fucking crumble when the AI bubble pops. And you're probably like, no, Mr. Mike, you don't want to see it to crumble. I'm like, yeah, I do. Sometimes you got to burn shit down to build shit up right again, and when things become worse, they might get a lot better afterwards. When you get rid of this crap that is AI and people and industries start thinking again, then eventually could, if they don't destroy themselves, could eventually tingle back into everything else, into all of us, which means they need us more than we need them. And then when they need us, the people, to come back to work and work for these people, that's when they start paying you the real big bucks. Trust me, that's helped me multiple times in my illustrious careers when I worked in many places before I eventually left them, because these places became so uncaringly horrible in my mind that I had to leave them. But it's worked out very much well, because when they need me more than I need them, they're always willing to pay up, especially in my current situation now. They need me more than I need them, hence why I get paid more than a lot of people in the same part of my restaurant industry, because they need me more than I need them. And I'm not even in this horrible state of how it is to get jobs nowadays. I'm one of very few people that are easily able to get those extra jobs and stuff, because I've been out there for a long time. I'm a good reviewer. I'm a good talker. I'm a good interviewer, should I say. I know my shit. I know what I do. I know what I can't do. And I express all that, which a lot of people can't really do nowadays, as I see when people get hired. And I have no problem walking away from my current job. Now, I make decent money from my current job. I'm not saying I make a lot of money, but I make decent money. I make enough money to own a house and do stuff, on the borderlines of that. And I don't put my money into the stock market. At least not right now. I'll wait till all that AI bubble and bullshit comes out. You know, my thing is, and I'm no stock guy or anything, I'm no financial guy, but my plan is, well, when everything crumbles and falls and the stock market goes, which like I said, nobody wants, you know, technically, because that's going to hurt a lot of things out there and a lot of you guys that have your money in 401ks in the stock. But once that all crumbles and falls, all it can do is go back up again, right? And that's when people like me sneak in underneath and put some money in, and then bada bing, bada boom, there you go. You got, I don't know. That's always been my thing. Let's just say a lot of stock market games that I played and a lot of other things always go in that direction. Let's just say a lot of predictions always went in that direction. And I'm like, you just got to know where to put your money. And now I'm getting off the tangent here, but it all comes back down to AI. It's expensive. These companies are spending a ton of money on server systems, electricity, buildings, chips, meaning memory and processor chips and stuff like that, storage, NVMe drives, stuff like that, solid state storage. And that is hurting a lot of industries, mainly hurting the video game industry. And it's going to hurt the gaming industry even more because everybody's talking about how memory has been jumping up like 3 times its value week by week, and it's getting really expensive. Somebody was talking about they were trying to buy some RAM, and this is from another podcaster, and they're like, oh, I just wanted my 2 sticks of 32s for 64 gigs, and that was going to cost me over $900 and stuff. And I'm like, but no, these people are also using the fastest, best of the best DDR5 RAM out there. In my machine, I got DDR4. Mine's not the fastest, I don't think, but it's a 3200 RAM in my machine. And I was just looking up yesterday if I wanted, because I got 32 gigs in my machine right now. And I'm thinking, you know, I wonder what would happen if I put 64 in this machine. Would it help? Would it really improve anything in my machine? You know, I don't even know if I even utilize my 32 gigs. And I was looking up on Crucial because they got the whole memory checker thingy and seeing, because I always forget what kind of memory I use in my computer or what my motherboard needs. And they had the two 32 gig sticks for 64 gigs. And they were saying it was like for sale because they don't sell it directly, which kind of sucks because I would just like to buy it right straight from the manufacturer, like from Crucial and stuff, which is a Micron place I've found out. I forgot it was Micron that owns or operates Crucial. But I was like looking and I'm like, oh, here's all our third-party stores or whatever stores that sells our memory. And then you go into it and I checked Amazon. That was the first one. And they didn't have it in stock, and all the third-party people wanted like $400 for it and stuff, even though it was showing on their thing 192 something. And then it was B&H Photo, which I can bring up over here right now because I still have it on here, because I'm still thinking I might want to get it. And I got to go, this is the bullshit problem, BH Photo. Okay, so I'm looking at their RAM. So if I wanted 2 sticks of 32 gigs, 64 gigabyte, 2 times 32 gigs, 3200 megahertz DDR4 Pro RAM with heat sinks and all that from B&H Photo right now, they want almost $300 for it. They want $291.99. So $291.99. And I'm thinking, that seems now, I don't know about the rest of you. To me, that seems okay. That doesn't seem too expensive. And it has free 2-day shipping and all that. Now, note, I would have to pay a sales tax, but I was looking at this. I'm like, that's how much I paid for my 32 gig RAM, I think, before. And they also have the 32 by 216 gig RAM here, which they don't have. That would be $145.99 if I wanted that. So getting 2 sticks of, which they have in stock, 32 gig sticks, $300. That a Pro 3200 megahertz 64 gig RAM, Crucial RAM with heatsink and stuff. That doesn't seem too bad to me. That doesn't seem too bad to me. Now, no, like I said, then there's the sales tax and stuff, but I'm not seeing huge price hikes on this memory. Now, no, like I said, this probably isn't the fastest RAM. There's probably faster RAM out there, but this is as fast as my machine because now, no, my Asus tough motherboard from back of whenever I got it 8 years ago or so, because my motherboard's like 8 years right now. I found out. Yeah, I built this computer during the pre-pandemic. Yeah, it was like getting into the pandemic, and I built this whole super gaming machine and stuff. That was like 8 years-ish ago. Yes, 8 years. That's a long time. But, you know, I upgraded a lot of stuff. It has a lot of the latest stuff in it. Of course, it can run Windows 11 and stuff, so you know it has all that. I put a new M.2 drives in there because it has a dual M.2 drive slot. I have tons of drives and SSDs in here and stuff like that. It's a pro machine. It has a 4070 Ti Asus tough graphics card in there and stuff, NVIDIA graphics card. You know, it's got a lot of great premium stuff. And for 8 years in, and this thing is chugging along awesomely as fast as it does, not bad. Not bad for a system like that. And like I said, I got 32 gigs of RAM in here, and I'm like thinking, should I upgrade to 64 gigs? Should I get another 32 gigs into this machine? And for like $300, that doesn't seem too bad compared to what other people are saying for the DDR5s and stuff, which is like $900,000 for a couple sticks. Yeah, that's a difference. There's a difference. Now, like I said, mine's probably a lower end in the speeds and stuff like that, but it runs games just fine, so I have no problems with it, and I runs all my applications and stuff. But I was just thinking, would more RAM be better for my machine? Because you know me, I'm always saying more RAM is better, but I don't know. Will I utilize the 64 gigs? I don't know. But back to the AI thing. Here's the thing. RAM is going up dramatically. M.2 drives are going up dramatically in price. Even Tim Sweeney, which is the Epic Games CEO, and like him or hate him, I think he's a bozo, like everybody else thinks he is. But, you know, he owns and runs Epic Games, which also has made a lot of great games in the past. They're the ones that created Gears of War. They're the ones that created Unreal Engine and stuff, which everybody utilizes today, especially now. It's the most dominant game engine out there. Everybody goes to Unreal 5 and stuff, even if you like what the games look like at the end or not. People have been utilizing that engine more than anything else, more than, you know. And there's a lot of game engines out there, but a lot of people, like in Microsoft with the Halo engine and all that, people have been jumping ship and saying, well, we're going to the Unreal Engine for all this stuff. We're doing this on Unreal. We remastered our games in Unreal. A lot of people use the Unreal Engine, which is basically a monopoly in its own right, because that's where everybody learns to make games with. So, you know, but he even says that AI will have a real, because AI gaming will have a real problem in the next few years because of costs. And like I said, RAM prices increase is a real problem, and storage, stuff like that. People coming out with new next-gen graphics cards or gaming machines, or even people playing games on PCs are going to have a harder time selling stuff like that because these prices are going to be so astronomically high because, of course, when they're trying to get the RAM, which is being bought up in major batches and basically, what should I say, taken over by the AI industry, they're basically sabotaging the industry as a whole of anything for gaming, you know, other parts of the industries, because they're allowed to, from Samsung or TSMC, et cetera, whoever else makes RAM and stuff out there, Micron, whatever, they're allowed to buy these astronomically big bulk orders of RAM and all this stuff, and they're trying to get even more current productions of RAM and stuff to purchase all that and use it all for their AI bullshit, that's taken away from manufacturing and processing for others people that need RAM and stuff for all their products like phones, tablets, computers, etc., because they have to fight to get the extra whatever they can get. And of course, the costs are going up to make it. And there's not many people out in the world, not many industries out there that make RAM apparently still, which is weird. And of course, all your RAM is either made in South Korea or Taiwan and stuff like that. And it's like, this is the industry that we, the people, have created, because everything's gotten so out of control in cost. And of course, got to pay people, especially here in the States and everywhere else. It's like there are very few companies out there that make this stuff because nobody else wants to do it because they don't want to charge extra money for their stuff. But I'm like thinking, well, if others can get into this industry to make RAM and M.2 storage and stuff like that, maybe there would be better competition and it would keep pricing down. But it seems like that's not going to happen anytime soon. And I'm surprised that more governments out there, including ours, are not trying to push more financial money and stuff into new businesses out there to try to push to create new RAM and storage markets out there. Just like how the industry and industries beyond can't get these special metals and materials, and it all comes from like China and India and Russia and weird little places out there that have all these high-end minerals and stuff to make magnets and chips and stuff for phones and stuff that's used every day. And surprisingly, even though we got some of that stuff and these rare earth minerals and in America and elsewhere, we haven't taken the time or the energy to put into it to try to make it ourselves, because it was so cheap and easy to do in these very few regions for so long that we always depended upon third parties to do all that for us. Well, after everything went bonkers and now everything's crazy and everything's going up in price dramatically, and you got China holding back and giving out rare earth minerals, you got all these other places going, see, now you need us because we're the only ones that do it, so you guys are fucked because we want more money and we want more control over our own industries, and then that fucks over everybody else. And then it doesn't help when you got the AI industry saying, oh, well, we want all this stuff for our AI because AI is the future, which it isn't. And it's going to be a problem going forward. And also there's been rumors and talks stating that NVIDIA and AMD are thinking about ditching budget graphics cards right now and focusing only on higher, pricier graphics cards going forward, because of the lack of RAM and memory chips that they can acquire for their graphics cards. And they would rather sell their more high-end premium graphics cards at a premium, because then they'll make more money, than the lower budgeted, more budgeted friendly graphics cards that they usually make, because why not? Because they got to make money too for their businesses. And then a lot of people talked about how Microsoft is expected to raise prices again on the Xbox Series X and S's and stuff like that, because of their lack of memory stock for their gaming consoles. And then I say to them, I'm like, well, and Microsoft hasn't really talked too much about it. They said they're okay in the situation right now, but you know, the whole thing is their consoles are super expensive anyways, and two, nobody was really buying the consoles anyways, because I see a whole bunch of them still at Best Buys and stuff like that. So I don't think Microsoft is too worried about, not having that much memory for the consoles, because are they really even producing that many Xbox Series X and S's out there to sell out in the industry? Because if nobody's really buying them, they're not really making them. So people saying, this is bad, Microsoft doesn't have enough and they're going to raise the prices. I don't know if they will. They could. But here's the thing. if they're not really selling Xboxes in the first place, I don't think they're really much in a hurry to try to get more memory and RAM and storage to make more Xboxes. You know what I mean? If you're not selling what you have out there and you're in last place, even though you probably have a ton of stock out there and a lot of people are dropping your stock and stuff and trying to sell off the rest of your stock and not wanting more of it, I don't think you're too worried about how the industry's going right now when your console isn't selling. I have a Series X. I love my Series X. I got a day one. You know, that's all I got to say on that. But for all the people that didn't want to buy one and said, the Series X is good, but, you know, I don't know. But people had their hate for Microsoft and Xbox back before Microsoft fucked over Xbox even more nowadays. But how about that Steam machine? Everybody was talking about it. And I was kind of praising Valve a little bit, but then I know Valve is Valve and Steam is Steam and stuff like that. And Valve, they like making stuff, but it doesn't mean they always support their stuff, and it doesn't mean their eye is always on this stuff. Sometimes they wander off. And I said this in the podcast. I'm like, hey, if they can make this little Steam machine box at a decent price at like $3.99 or something like that, a lot of people will buy it. And people like me, I would even maybe purchase it if it was something that cheap. And I would consider getting one just to see how it is. But if it's going to be an $8,000 to $1,000 box, especially now that RAM prices and storage prices are going up like crazy, I don't think that's going to be the price point people are going to want to buy the Steam machine. So maybe the Steam machine just might be a niche thing for Valve, because pricing for gaming hardware is so expensive. What is the next Steam? What should I say? The Steam. Shoot. The Steam. It's not Steam machine. The Steam. There you go. The Steam Deck. What about that next gen Steam Deck that Valve still is saying that they might be working on, or they're still working on and stuff like that? Will that ever become a thing now that memory and storage prices are going through the roof again? I also heard, which I didn't know because I was still very, very young in the gaming industry, as a gamer out there and stuff. And when I bought my Xbox 360, this was probably a little after a memory shortage was going on at that time as well, apparently, which I didn't know. Apparently, there was a big memory storage debacle where it was basically there was a whole, like right now, there was a lack of memory and storage out there during the time of the 360 and the PS3, and this whole shortage was causing 360s to not be coming out in rare supply, and it was hard to get a 360 at the time. And of course, the PS3 was delayed another year. I don't know if it was because of the storage issues and the memory and stuff, but I got my Xbox 360 a year later, and they were plentiful then. So I'm like thinking, well, is this just another one of those types of things going on now where we have a shortage of memory stock and stuff like that, and maybe eventually it'll all get back online, especially when AI crumbles and falls. And that's what everybody's hoping for, the whole AI bubble to crumble and fall and break down and go away, and then things should, get better. Pricing will get better, more stock of RAM and storage will get better and stuff. And I don't know. It's all because mostly of the AI creations and stuff like that. And I talked about this before, so I shouldn't really get too much into it. I already got it way into it right now, and I've been talking way too much about it. But it's going to get pricier to be a gamer. That's frankly what it's going to be. And you can blame the whole AI industry for that. You can blame the lack of vision between a lot of these big giant companies and places out there that make hardware and stuff like that. You can blame all of that. They're the ones hurting this industry, other industries, and it's all because of AI and this whole notion that AI is going to be sentient or whatever they call it, and it's not. We just don't have that kind of technology, and if you keep throwing more servers and more of this bullshit and that bullshit to it, it's not going to make it any better. It's not going to make it any better. I hear it's even worse in a lot of cases. So, I don't know. We'll wait till it all hits the wall and crashes and falls. I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe it'll happen sooner than later, but I hope it does, because shit, I just want people to make the best in gaming hardware. And if they're not making that gaming hardware for people to buy, either be a PC or a console, then what about these game developers out there that are trying to make video games for that or software or whatever? How are they supposed to make this stuff when nobody has this stuff, or it's just too costly to own this stuff? What are they thinking about when they're trying to put out their software, their next-gen titles and stuff like that? And also Valve confirms that the Steam Machine will not be subsidized hardware like consoles. And yeah, it's Valve's choice. If they don't really care, they don't. They're already built multi-billionaires. You know, Gabe Newell, he's a multi-billionaire. You know, he has billions of dollars. He owns his own yacht company and stuff now, you know, and he just didn't want to own a yacht. He wanted to own the company that makes yachts, and he's rich. If they wanted to subsidize their Steam machines, they could have. And that would really hit home for how games are made and stuff like that. I'm just looking, and there's a Steam thing. Okay. Thank you, Steam. Steam is just showing me a new sale. That's what that... If you heard the ding in the background, that was Steam letting me know a game on my Steam wish list is on sale. But yeah, I have no good or bad feelings about Valve. Valve will do what Valve does. They barely even make video games anymore. I don't even think they really care about making video games anymore. They're just more focused on the Steam store. Maybe doing the Steam machines is just another little hobby to see if they can get back in there and get people onto the platform more, which, frankly, I'd just rather own a PC outright, because then you could do more with it. But, hey, what do I know? A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to deal with Windows. I'm like, but there's stuff you still got to deal with Steam and or I should say Linux and stuff, because that's what the Steam OS is built on and stuff, you know, on a Linux platform. You still got to learn and do stuff on that. So which is it? If people don't want to learn stuff and do stuff, you're still going to Linux. Sure, it can run stuff better and more smoothly, I guess, but I don't know. I have a gaming PC here. I have my Xbox ROG Ally X. They seem to run these PC games quite well. And trust me, I'm not the kind of guy that says, I need 4K, 240 hertz beyond on my games. I'm not like I said, I'm not a Jeff Gerstmann. I'm not a crazy stupid head like he is, where he says, no, it's got to be all the best and the fastest. I'll play my games at 1080p 30. If they're less than 1080p because the game was made like that, I'll play them at 720 or 890, whatever P. When the Xbox Ones came out and their games were like 890p and stuff, 30 frames per second. I don't care. As long as the game is good, I don't fucking care. I'm not crazy in that field. I'm crazy in other fields, but I'm not crazy in that field, because as long as the game is playable, it looks good on the screen, it runs good, I don't care. My eyes suck as much as they do. I don't care. I can't see the extra super quality. All my movies, I buy movies all the time. They're all on Blu-rays. Now, sometimes I get 4K Blu-rays because that's what they put them on and stuff. And I can rip 4K Blu-rays as well. But they're still being ripped in 1080p. And they all look the same to me. Could I rip them all in 4K whatnot? Sure. But I don't because it doesn't matter to me. Because they look the way they look. You know? And they look good on my big screen and stuff like that. And all my devices. So for quality, I want quality in my games. You know, I don't need quantity. I don't need, I need 2060p this and this and this. I keep touting that. I just want the games to be good. And I want the games to be what the developers want these games to be like. Whatever they're designing for their game and whatever they're creating their game to be like, I want it to be their vision. I don't want them to have to push for specs. Game makers shouldn't have to push for specs. That should be an afterthought. They should just make the game that they want to make first. And then if they want to improve on graphics or whatever down the road, they can do that. If they want to improve the smoothness, whatever, they can do that down the road. But I want them to make the game they want to make and not have to go, well, we got to push all these graphics and this and that to 4K and stuff and 240 hertz and this and that. No. Make a game that you want to make. If it's at 30 frames per second at 1080p, who gives a shit? As long as the game is good, I will be there to play it. And enough said about that. So everybody buckle up. Things are getting even more expensive. Games are expensive. Game hardware is expensive. It's just the way it's going to be going forward. Now, that said, I didn't see too many Black Friday deals on gaming hardware. I know Sony did stuff with the PlayStation. They dropped the price when they upped the price, and then they dropped it down a little bit, $100 or something, even though they upped it $100. Microsoft did not drop the Xbox Series any consoles to any price lower. Maybe some I don't know, store did that, but otherwise, Microsoft didn't do that, but they had a lot of games on sale. They still have a lot of games on sale. Steam has a ton of games on sale digitally. Sony has some games on sale digitally. Everybody's got games that are, and I'm talking about digital games, on sale. Now, physical games, those are depending on storefronts and stuff like that, but I've been seeing a lot of good game sales from Xbox and PlayStation and Steam and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm getting dings all the time on stuff like that. But otherwise, hardware-wise, I don't think has been many deals, especially for TVs, stuff like that. TVs are still cheap. You could still get cheap TVs out there, big screen TVs. I don't need one. I barely use my big screen TV as is. Once in a while when I'm watching movies and stuff in my living room. The thing is, if I do want to use that for stuff, and especially for movies and stuff, I think my future is, if the future is still the future and things don't get so out of ridiculous and out of super expensive down the road, and maybe things will eventually balance up. And this is years and years down the line. My always thought is I might get one of those short throw projectors for my next like TV, if you want to say that. Because my next screen, instead of buying like a 75-inch or trying to get a bigger TV, of course that's going to be more expensive because there's more plastic, there's more crap in it, it's going to be heavier, it's going to be harder to get in. But if you get a short throw projector, which those are nice and popular, they're expensive, they're a few grand a piece, but you don't need to haul in a big giant screen. You don't have to hook it on your wall. You can just paint your wall with that special projector paint or whatever, or get one of those screens, put a short throw projector on there, you could get a 120-inch screen throughout your house. Now, I probably won't be able to get a 120-inch screen in my house because I don't think my wall is that tall for a 120-inch screen. I haven't checked it. I should measure my wall. But in the future, my next screen for my living room is probably going to be a projector, a short throw projector. Even though I'll be spending a few $1,000s on it, that's something that probably would be good because it's using, if you get one of those short throw laser projectors, they last a lot longer, even longer than TVs. Their blacks are better, their colors are better. It's brighter because they're laser projected. And two, my living room is super dark anyway, so it's a win-win scenario for me. Might not be for everybody, but for me, it's a no lose situation on that. That's something I would do in the next bunch of years. Now I still got a great TV, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. I don't even know where I came from that, but like I was talking about Black Friday. So I don't know if there was anything really big on Black Friday. I was looking a little bit, but I'm like, I already did my so-called Black Friday for myself shopping. I already got a bunch of games I purchased digitally. I bought a bunch of movies on Amazon because a whole ton of Blu-rays and movies and shows were all on sale on pre-Black Friday. This is before even Black Friday was Black Friday this week. I bought a whole bunch of those. A bunch of those came in. I ripped a bunch of them. I still got a bunch more that I got to rip here. I got more incoming because they didn't ship them all to me at once. They're coming bunches by bunches, but I got a whole collection of movies and shows and stuff because I'm one of those people that is sick of fucking streaming services, and I'd rather just rip the movies myself, put them on my NAS drive, and I'm my own streaming service. Pick whatever I want. I got thousands of movies, hundreds of TV shows and stuff like that. I can watch whatever I want, what I like. Not have to worry about subscription fees going up, seeing if my internet's working. I don't have to worry about freaking Netflix or something, or somebody like Disney Plus going down or whatever, or pulling the content and stuff like that. I don't have to worry about none of that stuff because I own it. And that's what I like. Same thing with games, but with games, it's a different story because once you buy them and you have them digitally, even though you don't own them, at least they're there for me to get. Now, being able to download them, that's a second story. That's if your internet goes down or something, but I haven't had too many problems with that. So yeah, industry's kind of fucked, but a lot of industries across the board are kind of fucked. Financial world right now is kind of fucked, Big business with a lot of stupid people running big businesses are kind of fucking it all over for all of us right now. That's beyond the political landscape, whatever you think of it, if it's good or bad, doesn't matter what our governments are doing because they fuck things over all the time. Doesn't matter if they're good intentions or whatever, everybody's fucking things over. You can't blame one person. There's a lot of stupid up on the top that is fucking everything over. And for entertainment like gaming, for us, that just hurts us in general. So I don't know if you guys have anything, like if you're not Xbox people, you're probably gonna not. I don't know if PlayStation does it. I should check if there's a PlayStation site for this. You would think there is. But I have a True Achievements account with a trueachievements.com, and you can link your Xbox and stuff to that, and I have that link to it. And it's basically a site that can help you show what achievements you get or what you're missing, how to get achievements, stuff like that. And as an achievement whore, I like to know sometimes on how my Xbox achievements are going and stuff like that, how to get them and stuff, because I can just go on my phone through the Xbox app and look at the achievements and do all that, and I do, and how to find them. But sometimes True Achievements will also help, and there's a lot of helpful people on True Achievements for achievements and stuff. They just sent me my Xbox story, my lifetime Xbox stats. And I was reading this, and it goes from since November 2005. That's when I got my first Xbox 360. My first Xbox, because I never had the original Xbox. This was the Xbox 360, and I got it in 2005, it says, in November. And my first achievement unlocked wasn't until, and it says this is weird too, my first Xbox achievement wasn't until July 14, 2006. That was my first achievement. It was called Server Surfer on Burnout Revenge. Now, I don't know if this is the most accurate and stuff, but It says it was Burnout on July 4th. Now, I don't get why it's between November 2005 to 2013 here, but it's showing some weird stuff. Now, I don't know if I believe all this stuff that they're showing me, but you would think it would be. But July 14th of 2006, it's saying my first achievement was Server Surfer Burnout Revenge on the 360, which could be correct because I remember playing on my 360. It was mostly me playing Halo, Halo 2, stuff like that. Like a lot of Xbox games because I bought a lot of the older used games on that. The rarest achievement was Unstoppable with Gears of War Judgment. Okay. The first game completion was TMNT, which, of course, that was the one we all used to spam to get our achievements with. Fastest game completion, Avatar The Last Airbender, The Burning Earth, completed in 9 minutes. Yes, I believe that. That's another game that we all use to pad our achievement scores. Slowest game completion, Forza Horizon 2 presents Fast and Furious on the 360. Now, I don't believe this is true, folks. This took me 955 days, 3 hours, and 55 minutes to complete. That don't seem correct. I don't remember taking 955 days to complete Forza Horizon 2 presents Fast and Furious. That seems like this data is definitely not correct. But I'm looking at it, and then it goes to Xbox One and Series X and S. They put that into the same category. First achievement on the Xbox One was Zombie Killer and Dead Rising 3 on November 23rd, 2013. Because I think that's when the Xbox One came out, is 2013, right? I believe that one. I can believe that one. First game completion on that was Monopoly Plus. I believe that as well. Most game played was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's a definite right there. Yes, 9 days, 11 hours, and 44 minutes. That's all. It only took me 9 days to complete Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I felt a lot longer than that. And then they're showing me active months and how many achievements. And they're showing a whole bunch of stuff. High scoring series and stuff. Yakuza Like a Dragon, 14 of 14 games played of the Yakuza / Like a Dragon series. Yep. Yakuza, 11 out of 11 games played. Tomb Raider, 7 out of 11 games played. That makes no sense, but okay. Life is Strange, 4 out of the 5 games played. Yes, that's true because I still got one Life is Strange game that I got to play and complete. Batman, 5 of the 11 games played. Then it shows me a whole bunch of other stuff on other platforms and stuff. Now, like I said, this is probably not all the most accurate, but it's pretty interesting on the data they got here. Like they were showing me the value of the games, of all the games that I've played, stuff like that. And they're showing me weird stats like games completed, 41. DLCs completed, 64. Completion percentage, 28.19%. So that's a low completion percentage. That makes sense though, because there's a lot of stuff you just don't care about getting achievements for and stuff like that. Total install size of games, 12,059 gigabytes. That seems a little low to me, but okay. Value of games. They're saying now note, this is probably when you get like some of those games with gold for free, or I got cheaper games or something. And also don't forget Game Pass came out when it was the Xbox One time into the Xbox One and Series X time. It says value of the games played is $20,000 and $20,854. That's how much money I would spend in those games. Now, note, I probably spent somewhere near around that for all my games, if you're including Switch, GameCube, all those other games and stuff from other consoles and stuff, and on top of the Xbox 360, which I have a ton of Xbox 360 games upstairs, and Xbox One and Series X and S games upstairs, or Series X games upstairs. So technically, maybe that's correct or close to it or even beyond it if you count, like I said, the Switch games and everything else that's beyond that. But they don't rate other systems. They're just talking about Xbox. That's a lot of money I spent theoretically in all that stuff. But yeah, if you're an Xbox gamer or Xbox for PC gamer and stuff like that, and you play a lot of games and you want to see what you have here for, gamer score stuff, games played, achievements. It says I played 576 games and such. And you want to see what your stats are and all that stuff, and maybe you need some help with getting some achievements in games or what achievements you missed in games, and you just don't want to look at the app for everything. TrueAchievements.com is a free, easy way to do it. And it's pretty good. Like I said, sign up with an account with True Achievements, link your Xbox account to it, and you get all these stats. And I like it. I like having the option to see what I have been doing in the world of gaming, of Xbox gaming in general. Because I still do, and I still admit that I am kind of an Xbox fanboy up to a point. And that's only the brand, not the company, and definitely not the company above the company of the brand, but still like that brand. I still like what it represents and what it gives me in what I consider value for my Games Pass. Even though I'm spending $30 now on my Games Pass subscription, I can admit that it just gave me my bill and it went up to $30. I still believe that I get the value of what I do with my subscription. Now, that might vary between other people, but also, I don't subscribe to any other real subscriptions. The only other subscription I'm subscribed to right now, besides Game Pass, is probably Amazon Prime, and that's only for now. Eventually, I'll just cancel it because I won't be using it too much more, but, mostly I don't have any. I don't have Netflix or any of those other streaming services subscriptions. I don't really subscribe to anything except maybe my car starter thing, but that's every 3 years. My phone, that's like every year or something like that. It's not like it's every month like Game Pass is. So all in all, I don't really subscribe to anything. So $30 a month is really nothing to me when it comes to subscribing to this thing for me, where I play Xbox PC games and on my ROG Ally X. So there. Let's see here. I'm going to take a quick break. You will not notice a thing, folks. I'm going to just get some water because my mouth is getting dry, and we'll talk about how I had a great Thanksgiving weekend, and hopefully you did too, for gaming, eating, stuff like that, and I'll talk about that in 1 second. Okay, I'm back. You didn't notice a thing. So, yeah, with the Thanksgiving weekend still going right now, technically, but almost done. When you hear this and watch this, it'll be done. It's been a pretty good gaming week, Xbox Thanksgiving weekend and gaming weekend. Played a lot of games. Enjoyed Thanksgiving off because my place actually decided to close this Thanksgiving because we didn't make much money last Thanksgiving, and they're like, oh, maybe we should just be closed on Thanksgiving. I'm like, okay. You don't need me there? Oh, no, we're not going to pay you to be here. I'm like, okay, I won't be here then if you're not going to pay me to be here. So I said, I'll take Thanksgiving off, I guess. I wasn't going to because I was just planning, just eat my Thanksgiving dinner and, go to work, then make my Thanksgiving and eat my Thanksgiving dinner. Luckily, I was off Thanksgiving Day because, it was a lot easier for me to make my Thanksgiving dinner a lot earlier because I made my own Thanksgiving dinner, turkey, mashed potatoes, cabbage, corn, applesauce. I like applesauce with my turkey. The creamiest mashed potatoes and homemade gravy from the turkey's ass. I love the ass gravy. Turkey ass gravy, folks, that is the best. The blood of the turkey is the best gravy. Not that fake stuff that people like, but real, good gravy. And the turkey is amazing. Old natural. I don't like to put too much shit on my turkey. I just butter it a little bit, put a little salt and pepper, and that's just good enough for Mr. Mike. I like to taste my bird. I don't want to taste a bunch of other stuff all over the bird. You can always stick it in other stuff. Butter biscuits, buttermilk biscuits, stuff like that. And then after, well, I didn't eat actually any pie after because I was so stuffed. And I had to go to work Friday the next day because I didn't take off for Friday because I'm like, I'm not doing no Black Friday stuff, so I might as well go to work, and we're open on Friday. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to go to work on Friday because then I'm off Saturday and Sunday anyway. So I'm like, whatever. So I worked Friday. Saturday, I did a lot of stuff. Saturday, I did a lot about my movie collection. Like I said, I ripped a lot of Blu-rays and stuff that day. I entered in a lot of movie data into my movie collections app here. I still got a lot of movies and shows to put in my movies collections app. So I can have them in my app so I can see what I have and what I might want to watch. I can just go, do. Oh yeah, that movie or that movie. It's good to have. So I was doing that, playing a lot of simulator games, stuff like that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It's just been a decent weekend. And then right now I'm just talking with you guys on my podcast, and then I'm going to go play another game for a nice Let's Play or something for this week. I haven't decided what, but I got something in mind. 1 or 2 games in mind. And yeah, enjoying my Xbox Raw Galley X. So that was basically my Thanksgiving weekend. Of course, on Thanksgiving, I put out my Asus Xbox Raw Galley X review. And a lot of people have been watching my video and hopefully reading the article. Now, on my website, I don't know if people have been reading the article on my website, but I do have the article part of it that I talk more about the device on there. But on my YouTube video, it's been getting a lot of hits and likes, and I had a couple comments on it as well. One guy, he was talking about how he liked how I just kept it broad and just wasn't just the fanboy approach of the device, which, you know, I bought the Xbox Raw Galley X device. Just like I buy all my games and all my hardware. I don't get them handed to me or for free or anything. I have no loyalty to Asus or anybody like that, or Xbox or anything, even though I am kind of loyal to Xbox up to a point. But still, if some bullshit is coming off of it, I will talk about that bullshit. If there's something that I like about this stuff, I will be glad to brag about that stuff. And, you know, the Xbox Raw Galley X, for what it is a great device to have. If you are a gamer that likes to play PC games and stuff, and if you do have an Xbox One or Series X or S console, and you like cloud play and stuff like that, there's a lot of extra opportunities to turn that handheld into a what could be the future of an Xbox console in your hand, or true Xbox portable gaming console. Now that you can't really technically play games, your Xbox games, on the Xbox Raw Galley X without cloud streaming or remote play and stuff like that, it's still a great options to have to be able to play those games from my console and stuff onto my handheld for games that are not available on the Xbox PC store or something like that. Or if I don't have them on Steam or something like that, you know, that's a great way to play it. And you can play your Steam games on there and all that stuff. I think it's really good for all the options that I get to play. And, you know, a lot of people keep complaining, but I can't play my Xbox games in general. Yes, because this is not a true Xbox. This is a branded Xbox portable that does Xbox gaming in general with the PC side of Xbox, or cloud play or remote play, which which bothers me that they never over at Xbox, none of them, Sarah Bond or Phil Spencer or anybody ever talk about remote play from an Xbox console to your devices. Sony talks about it. They talk about remote play a lot. Everybody else does. I know the company Microsoft overhead of Xbox, they're probably like saying, don't mention remote play that much. Mostly talk about the cloud. We want you to talk more about the cloud initiative of Xbox streaming and stuff, because they're all about the cloud and their servers and stuff when Azure's up and running, when it isn't crashing and and DDoSing itself, of course. But still, they still like to talk about the thing that they like to charge for, which you still got to pay to use remote play anyway. So I don't know why they don't talk about it, because you still need an Xbox, subscription to Game Pass and stuff like that, I think, just to use remote play anyways. I don't know if it's just regular Game Pass or whatever, but you still need it to remote play from your console to your handheld. So it's not like they're not making money off of it. So, but I think there's a lot of features that are so impressive. And like I said, as an owner of the original Xbox or original ROG Ally Extreme, this is a great bump up from that, because I never owned ROG Ally X or anything like that, the original ROG Ally X, because I felt like, well, this is a great device, but it does not include that extra stuff that I want in there. And at the time, I also heard about the Z2 Extreme chip coming from AMD at that time and stuff, and I'm like, I'm going to wait for that handheld. I said, I am going to skip this one. I'm going to wait for Asus to come out with that one, because I knew at the time that they were going to come out with one every year, because that's what they've basically been doing, coming out with a new ROG Ally every year. I don't know if that's going to continue on, especially with memory and storage prices going forward, but going forward, maybe we wait a couple generations. Maybe I'll wait till AMD, or maybe the next ROG Ally, maybe it won't be an AMD chip in there. Maybe they'll use a Snapdragon chip. Maybe they'll head over across the pond to an ARM architecture with the next ROG Ally and put in a super powerful, low battery draining Snapdragon Elite chip, or whatever the next chip is going to be, Elite 2 or whatever chip it's going to be. Maybe they'll do that, because those ARM chips, and it use a little bit of emulation software and stuff, and you can run Windows properly on those ARM chips. They've been talking about that, and if you can utilize it, and you can make a nice little graphics core into there or whatever, if you want to do the SoC with that, you could probably make a very powerful gaming SoC for the ROG Ally, and it would be even way more powerful than what AMD's came out with the Z2 Extreme. Those ARM Snapdragons, like I say all the time, I have one. I have the Snapdragon. I think it's an Elite chip as well in my Moto flip here. I forgot what it's called right now, but my Moto flip phone here, and this thing runs super fast with everything. It goes boom, 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 boom with everything. And the battery life is amazing on it and stuff. And I'm like, well, they have it on laptops and stuff like that. If Microsoft and people would push harder for that Snapdragon stuff, maybe that could be your next generation of chips for any hardware, gaming hardware in general. Because, x86 is still lagging with a lot of features like, keeping cool, getting faster, or overall battery life and stuff. They're doing a decent job, but if the next Asus ROG Ally device, if it's still branded an Xbox ROG Ally or whatnot, if they put in a Snapdragon chip and they get a graphics core in there and they can put Windows and whatnot on there, or even a better system next time around where it's just like an Xbox interface built into there, and Asus could put the ROG Ally stuff and you could still put on in Steam and stuff like that. That could be something really special going forward. Really special. And that could be really powerful for gamers with handheld devices. Not that this thing isn't powerful. Like I said, I can plug this into my TV. It runs super fast. I can play games on it that I couldn't even play on my original ROG Ally and stuff like that. It does a great job. Plays games that, frankly, say they don't even play on it. It plays games like Forza Motorsport says, no, it don't play on this thing. And it's like, no, it does play on this motherfucker. It does. You can say it doesn't. It says it right in the thing, but it does. So that makes me happy. But the review is up. Take a look at it. my Asus Xbox ROG Ally X review on OldFreakyGamer.com. You could go see it on the main page. It's a very long article. Just going to say, if you like to read, this is a good read. Or you could go to the content section. You'll find it there as well if it leaves the front page eventually, because, I got more content going on the front page. So it goes down, 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 and then eventually gets off the main page. And then I have, but it'll be in the comments. Or you can also watch it. My little over an hour review talk of my Xbox ROG Ally X on YouTube at youtube.com/OldFreakyGamer-2023 on my channel there. Have that. Like I said, a lot of people have been watching it, getting some comments for it, and I thank you all. I hope you guys all enjoy my non-bipartisan whatever review on it, because like I said, I bought it. I didn't get it from the company like all these other schmucks out there. Yes, I'm going to call them all schmucks. Call you all out there when they're all complaining and whining and they're not really utilizing what it could do. Like I said, I can consider myself one of the grandfathered into this handheld gaming stuff, because like I said, I had the original ROG Ally Extreme. I had to deal with all that stuff and early Armory Crate, all that stuff, and I watched it grow from that, and then now I see it now and what Microsoft's trying to do with their stuff and with the Xbox user experience and what Asus is still doing with Armory Crate, and I'm like, none of that stuff is perfect, but utilizing both of them and using it the way I use it, it just works. It works well. It does what I want it to do, and I feel really good switching from game to game and doing stuff, and it does it really fast, and I have a fun time playing games on it. The initial setups could be a lot better. Initial setups are horrible garbage where you got to do all those updates and stuff, and it should be all under one user interface to update and do all that stuff, but it isn't. It doesn't. That could be better in general, and how many updates you get to start. But, consoles are like that as well. They're getting longer and longer to update and start up at first startup and stuff like that. So they're all computers. They're all got to be updated. There's a lot of big updates. There's a lot of stuff that's going to go into them. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. But really solid device. Like I said, it has some of the little quirks, but overall, I've been enjoying it. And I've been playing, I've been remote streaming games like Monopoly from my Xbox Series X to this device, and I had it unplugged for well over 2 hours. I was playing Monopoly, a game of Monopoly, for well over 2 hours on this device, and it was running smoothly. The battery life was not even... when I finally ended my game of Monopoly, because I was playing against six other AI players, I should say. When I finished that, it was well over 2 hours of gameplay, and I looked at the battery life, and it was still a good chunk of battery life in there. I'm like, huh. Now, note, I'm remote playing it, but still, you would think the radio, the Wi-Fi radio, would be sucking a lot of energy, and of course, the screen and stuff sucks the most energy, but still, I haven't that much battery life left. And that's going way above what was saying in my article. Because my article, I said, well, I'm getting a good hour to 2+ hours of battery life out of this, depending on the games. This is well over the 2 hour mark with this remote play. So I was very impressed. Because at the time, I'm like, well, I don't want to unplug from the wall from my living room and bring it into my office here. I just wanted to play the game, and I did. And I'm like, oh, got through 2 games of Monopoly out of this, so why not? Because the other Monopoly game I was almost done with, so I completed that game, and then I played a whole nother game. We'll talk more about that. But, yeah, review, Xbox, Asus, ROG Ally X, Asus, Xbox ROG Ally X review is up on my YouTube channel at OldFreakyGamer and OldFreakyGamer.com, so watch and read and enjoy. You can also go, if you want to find where it's exactly at, on OldFreakyGamer.com. I have a link in the YouTube notes section of review section of the review underneath the review. You can go just click that link and it'll take you right to the article as well. And feel free to comment on it. You know, ask me questions. If you got more questions, you want to find out more about it, ask away. And yes, it plays Call of Duty. Because one guy was like, does it play Call of Duty? Of course it plays Call of Duty. Or Battlefield, I hear. I hear that the ROG Ally X is the only one that still plays Battlefield 5. That all the other gaming handhelds out there on the market still don't run Battlefield 5 for some reason. It's weird. Weird. Anyways, so the games that played in the past week. Oh, wrong one. Hold on, sorry. That was the wrong one.
Games that have been played
I hit the wrong button.
in the past week.
Hold on one second. Throat dry, everything dry. It's very hot in my office right now. It's 70. Oh, it says it's 72 in here. Why is it so warm? It's dry and warm. That's what I hate about winter. Dry, super warm. I don't like warm. Got 2 shirts on now. I got to take off one shirt later. Whew. Hit the wrong button. Yeah, the games I played in the past week, not many, but these are the games I enjoy to play, so I've been playing a lot of them. Now, note, I haven't played any Outer Worlds 2, which I got to try to do some of that today. Maybe that could be a Let's Play. Maybe that could be in my Let's Plays, playing some Outer Worlds 2. I don't know, because it's between that or, well, actually, no. Yeah, it might be Outer Worlds 2. I'll let you know at the end of the show officially, but yeah, it might be Outer Worlds 2, but Assassin's Creed Shadows I want to play more of. I got to get back into that, and that's a game that's going to be Friday's GameOn stream. So if you want to know that, this upcoming Friday, it is going to be me playing Assassin's Creed Shadows on Xbox Series X through my capture device here. I haven't used that much lately either. It's mostly been PC games, so me capturing off my Xbox is interesting. But yeah, those 2 games I've been wanting to play for a while now, so those games I have not been playing. Even though I said I got to be playing, but I haven't. But I will be playing. Like I said, if I do for my Let's Play the Outer Worlds 2, which I do have on my PC here still, I hope, right? I didn't delete it off my PC, right? Yes, I still have the Outer Worlds 2 on my PC. Good. Good, Mr. Mike. You didn't delete that game off there. Because sometimes I delete games off my PC because I figure I'm just going to be playing them only on my Xbox ROG Ally X. And I just don't. And sometimes I don't feel like just keeping them on my PC, even though I got all the storage on my PC. I don't know why. I'm stupid like that. I just knock things out. I can reinstall them, but still, it's like, why? Why do I do that? I don't know. But been playing a lot of Powerwash Simulator 2. Still my main game of choice to play on my ROG Ally, because why not? Power washing, laying down, watching a TV show or movie and just power washing is really nice and really calming. It's a really good, calming, relaxful type of a game to play. And you get achievements to do so, even though you can really power wash. Well, not now in the wintertime, but it's so nice. It's so fun. I don't know why. I'm power washing a gas station right now. So that's what I've been doing. It's power washing a gas station, and I got to get more money so I can buy much more powerful, updated equipment to power wash with. I hear things outside. I hear beeping outside. Whatever. But been playing that mostly in my ROG Ally, having a lot of fun. Power Wash Simulator 2, a great game, especially when you can get it when it's free on Game Pass. Why not? That's what's good about having a Game Pass subscription still, folks. If you like playing weird games like that still, that's well worth it for that. Another game also been playing via Game Pass for PC, Supermarket Simulator. I even had a Let's Play last week of it. Not many people actually watched it I don't think people really care about Supermarket Simulator too much nowadays, but that's okay. But I had that as last week's Let's Play because I was figuring, what am I going to be playing? And I'm like, I really want to play more Supermarket Simulator. And that's what I chose for my Let's Plays. But been playing that on PC. That's mostly a PC gaming game for me. I could play it on my ROG Ally, but I like to play Supermarket Simulator with a keyboard and mouse. And sure, I could hook up a keyboard and mouse to my ROG Ally, but just playing here on my big screen, watching a movie or TV show on the other screen or whatever, that's fine by me. So I keep Supermarket Simulator on the PC just because I got my keyboard and mouse here, and that's how I like to play that game. It's a lot easier for me to play Supermarket Simulator with a keyboard and mouse. I could play with a controller, but I find that a keyboard and mouse is a lot better for me. That's just how I like to play it. And that's been fun. I've been building up my supermarket. Right now, I'm just trying to build up my money, my cash flow, because eventually I'm going to do a super remodel to my supermarket and hire maybe more people and get more stuff in there and stuff like that. And it costs a lot of money to do so, to level up stuff. I want to get more storage. I want to get more this. But you got to do it in a tangent, because if you overdo it, then you're just in the red, and you don't want to be in the red. You want to be in the black when owning a supermarket. And the choices I've been making have been pretty good. I was really spent a lot. I was like in the red for a little bit during one remodel, but then I was like, yeah, I'll keep it safe. I'll just do little remodels, and then eventually I'll do a big remodel when I get enough money on that. And so that's what I chose in Supermarket Simulator. Very fun game. I love playing it. You might not always enjoy watching it, but I enjoy playing it. And sometimes that might pop up as a Let's Play. I don't know. I got other things, though. Don't worry, folks. There's more games to be played and to come. But Supermarket Simulator on PC, fun game. Then there's Monopoly Play, or Monopoly on Remote Play. Been playing a lot of Monopoly. Like I've been saying, I've been finishing up games. I've been starting games. I've been getting a lot more achievements out of Monopoly and doing some crazy things. And like I said, I've been playing it remotely on my ROG Ally from my Series X console. Has been really fun, really nice, because I was doing tons of things on my computer, and then I'm just doing my little Monopoly play, sitting here playing on my Xbox ROG Ally X, and it's just been great. I love Monopoly. And I love playing the latest Monopoly from my Series X onto my remote play. Like I said, still getting achievements in it, and it's fun. It's fun when you're starting off and you're doing some risque moves in Monopoly, and you got 6 other AI characters trying to take you down, and you're trying to do stupid stuff, and then you find out at one point of the game you feel like you're going to get knocked out because you only got $100 left. Sure, you got a lot of properties, but you only got $100 left in your pocket, and then things just turn around in an instant, and then you just dominate the board and nobody can catch up, and then it's like, bye-bye, everybody. One by one, they drop off like a bunch of flies, and then you win the game with over 15 grand in the bank, in the Monopoly bank. Woohoo, Monopoly bucks in the bank. And owning almost all the properties, you're owning on all the hotels and almost all the houses. Crazy how a game of Monopoly can go and how Monopoly works. You could be either in the shitstorm for a while and then just build up and get so dominant, or you could just be super dominant and then just get fucked at the end, and then it's just like, boom. Let's just say I never really, truly lost a game of Monopoly. Never. Now, I had to fakely force myself to lose a game of Monopoly because there was an achievement. And I was like, oh, this is a shitty achievement. But I had to do, it was a game I already played or something. And I just went back into it, and I made a new game, and I just made it so I lost in the beginning of the game. And, bankrupted myself and got that achievement. It wasn't the best achievement to get, but I said, hey, achievement is achievement. So But having fun, and it runs great remote play-wise. Once in a super great while, it might do the little glitchy thing, but it was mostly buttery smooth throughout the whole experience of Monopoly, playing remotely from my console to my ROG Ally X. Now, note, like I said, I have Wi-Fi 6E mesh system in my house, so everything is really top-notch when it comes to Wi-Fi in my house. I got a good Wi-Fi connection throughout the whole house, so that has something to do with that. But very fun game, very fun game. Even if you're playing by yourself, which I mostly do. And then finally, which I was playing before, but I was playing also on my Friday's GameOn stream, I was playing Fortune Street again. The game, more board game fun, which you either like or you either dislike. But because I'm all about the money, I wish I had a cha-ching thing here. I don't. I have this. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't got a cha-ching cash register noise. I could get one, but I don't have that. But yeah, I've been playing Fortune Street. I played it on Dolphin emulation. Did it on the PC here and emulated and played a nice game of that. Ripped through and teased, and even if Nintendo can create their characters and the games as bullshit, sometimes you can bullshit the bullshitters and you can bullshit the AI in these games and you can dominate. And that's what I did in Fortune Street, and I loved every second of it. I don't think many people watched that stream, to tell you the truth. They watched after the fact, but I don't know how many people out there like Fortune Street. These are those types of games like Monopoly and the console and stuff, Fortune Street, stuff like that. Money-based games, not many people like to play those for some reason. It's weird. It's not like they're not super niche, but I don't hear people going out of the way like me to play games like Fortune Street, Monopoly, stuff like that. It's just like the simulator games. I like to play simulator games a lot of times, even if they're not truly really simulators and they just call them something simulator, or like Powerwash Simulator, Supermarket Simulator with goofy, weird, fun things in those games. I like to play stuff like that. It's a weird thing when you got everybody else playing like Ark Survival and Call of Duty and stuff like that. I got another email here. I shouldn't be looking at this one. Oh, something got delivered. So hold on 1 second, folks. I'm going to pause this podcast. Okay, I'm back from that little break that I had to go because I had my packages delivered. And the stupid delivery guy, this is Amazon for you. Sometimes you get perfect deliveries most of the time. Once in a while, especially on a Sunday, because they might not like driving in the winter weather, whatever. They don't want to follow the instructions that are on the thing, and it pisses me off all the time. When they throw my packages on my front deck porch, instead of putting it on the side of the house where I request it, where the mailbox is, where the door is, where you can easily put it in and it keeps the packages dry and safe. And some certain dumbasses out there like to throw my packages on my front deck porch, even though it's blocked off. I have it blocked off because I have the Christmas lights up in front there, so you can't put packages on there. I got to get the sign back, I think. I got to find my do not deliver here sign and put deliveries to the side sign, I guess. Because these dumbasses don't want to go to the side of the house, which isn't that far away, and it's easy to do. You just drive up from my little driveway and walk up my driveway and put it on the side. And this person, don't know if it's guy or girl, had to toss these packages onto my deck porch because, like I said, I have the front stair railing case blocked off because I have the Christmas lights going up and down. I have a nice little Christmas light pattern going around my deck porch, and it's blocking the front railing from anybody coming in and stuff. So they had to have tossed the packages. And of course, my packages, luckily, they weren't there for like 2 seconds because, like I said, I got the email when the email and the ring-a-ling-ding-ding announcing that I got the packages delivered, so they weren't out there too long, thankfully. And the bottoms were all full of snow and wetness and stuff. And I'm like, And then when Amazon asks me, how was your delivery? I go, bad. I always hit bad because if people follow directions and they do their jobs right, and it's not that bad. It's windy out there, but it's warm out there. So you're getting the slushy, snowish stuff out there. But still, it's warm out there. It's windy, but it's warm. There's no reason why they couldn't put it on the side of the house. If I was a delivery person, I would have put it on the side of my house. It's not like I got a super long driveway or anything weird or stupid like that. It's just a simple thing. I want to keep the packages out of the elements, so put it on the side. Now, if I have my deck porch awning over it up and it was the summertime, sure, put them in the front deck porch. That's where they go because it's nice and shaded, it's enclosed, stuff like that. But in the wintertime, that's off. Everything's open. Got the Christmas lights up. I got it blocked off. And sometimes these idiots still throw the packages there. Not following the directions on their Amazon apps because I know some Amazon delivery people and they show me what they see there. And if there's stuff saying, like people like me, give them little notes, instructions, please put it on the side of the house by the door where the, mailbox is. Simple directions they cannot follow. That's a problem. People can't follow directions. Made me a little mad. Luckily, none of my stuff got damaged or is wet. So my movies, I got my pierogi making machine. Hopefully it works. I don't know. We'll see. I'll test that bad boy out soon. Probably next weekend or something. But yeah, folks. That's life of me. But you would be complaining too if it was your packages. Let's just say that. Especially in bad weather. Windy, bad weather. Like I said, it could start snowing again any minute. So I already talked about Fortune Street, talked about all the rest of this stuff. So yeah, that's good. We're good on that. So why don't we get into the final section? Because might as well keep this podcast moving. Chooga, chooga, choo, choo. And we got some games talk news, or should I say Gamez Newz Now stories. So why don't we go get into the games that is the Games Talk News Now.
Locked and loaded, ready for the fight. Game Talk News, gonna set the stage alight. Mr. Mike's got the scoop, he ain't holding back. Dropping bombs on the gaming industry track. Hear the thunder, feel the roar. Game Talk News, gonna settle the score. From E3 to PAX, they got it all. The highs and lows, ready to brawl.
There we go. Enough of that. So it's called the Electronic Dumpling Machine. Now, it got some good reviews. It got a lot of bad reviews, but because I make pierogies, even though these are going to be smaller, I wanted to try this machine out because I just hate, crimping my pierogies and stuff like that, and I'm wondering if this will actually help out. It's a small little device and you can recharge it using a USB-C thing. And I'm like, that seems interesting. So I'm going to give this a try. If I don't like it, if it doesn't work right, I'll just return it. It's no big deal. I think it was on sale for like $20-$30 or something like that. I just wanted to try something because I can't find an actual pierogi making machine. There are some out there, but they don't sell them. At least the individuals like me, and some of them are really big, and I don't think I could fit in my house. But I like pierogies that much. I make them. And there was a dough making machine that I ordered, but they said it was going to be delayed and it wasn't going to come till like a couple days before Christmas. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, I got to make this. Because originally it says, ready to ship right now. And then I ordered it, and then it's like, it's going to hold off, and then it's holding off. That's another problem with Amazon. Sometimes they lie to you when they say something's available and it isn't on the website, and then it's like, well, you said it was available, and now you're telling me, it's going to be delayed till December 21st, and I'm like, I need these pierogies by the Christmas, motherfuckers. I'm going to be making these pierogies the first week of December. I'm going to be making them probably either this weekend or next weekend. I forgot which weekend I'm doing it, if it's this weekend or next weekend, but I'm doing them soon. So I cannot be waiting. for a machine to come at the last second. And it was going to be a nice little dough making machine, like a little dough making pot thing. It was supposed to ferment and do all this weird stuff to make the dough really good. Instead of me using my big giant mixer for it, but I guess I'm bringing out the big giant mixer again. No biggie. But I just wanted to simplify my pierogi thing making system so I can make pierogies a lot faster. I was even looking into dough flattening machines where it would flatten and make nice ribbons of dough where I could just punch holes out of them and, make the dough things. But I don't want to overdo it, but I just want to simplify it. You know what I mean? I'm probably thinking way too much into this dough pierogi making stuff, but hey, I like to make my own homemade cheese pierogies because if you get them from other people that make them, they always put sugar in them. I don't want sugar in my pierogies. Gotta have it without sugar for one thing, and two, they're just not as good. They don't use the same quality cheeses and stuff, and a lot of them has all that other crap in them. And I just don't like how other people do them. Especially, you don't put sugar in pierogies, especially cheese pierogies. Keep the sugar out of my damn pierogies. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Also, I got Fantastic Four finally. You know how long this took Amazon to get me? It took them almost a month to get me this damn Blu-ray of Fantastic Four. Amazon, what's going on over there? Do you guys just not have anything? And you got empty warehouses? What's going on with Amazon? Why is it taking them so long to deliver these little things like a Blu-ray and stuff? I probably could have got it from Walmart or something, but Amazon had it on sale. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy this from Amazon. I guess, okay, whatever. And I'm a Prime member? That shit should have came like second day. I don't know. I'm just your basic average bitching customer. Okay, Windows 11 settings app will soon be able to update your apps for you. So why am I talking about a Windows 11 settings app updating apps soon for you? Well, many cases, because if the Windows 11 settings app and updates app can start updating like your apps settings, like PC apps, stuff like that, maybe they can eventually, maybe they're going to make it more broad so it can update like program apps, stuff like that. But if you're using a lot of apps like in official Microsoft apps or the UWP apps, stuff like that, like for the Armory Crate, like Asus Xbox and stuff like that, or Asus Xbox ROG Ally X and stuff with the Armory Crate in my Asus and stuff like that. If Microsoft can start doing updates for those apps as well and drivers and stuff like that, that would be really good for updating a lot of stuff you cannot do in a regular app store right now. It doesn't do that. It doesn't update. It only updates Microsoft proper apps right now. But because, you got other operating systems like Linux and Android and iOS doing updates for all their apps and their stores and all that stuff. Now that Microsoft will finally hopefully be doing this and updating, Microsoft says that app updates are important to them. So why shouldn't they not do that? Make it more easier for us to update all those apps and programs and, graphics setting cards stuff and all that. Why not? Why isn't that not an all-in-one interface? And I was talking about this in my Asus ROG Ally or Asus Xbox ROG Ally X review, where I'm like, they need to streamline all these updates for all this stuff under one thing. And why can't we just use the Microsoft Updater to do that? Why can't it just do all that? So this might be a start of a new thing where Microsoft will make sure that all your apps and stuff are updated under one roof, under this one apps updates thing. It's also, they state, handy for devices using the new Xbox Full Experience, as accessing the Microsoft Store when in gaming mode isn't currently possible without first exiting into the desktop. Yes, that's what it is. Have an option to check for updates in the settings app will streamline the process for those using a controller. And that's another great thing that it could do. It's not this new app updates page in the Windows settings is not entirely functional just yet. But I guess they're still working on it, and they're hoping to get it better. Third-party apps you acquired from the outside store will continue to be updated at your discretion, but maybe eventually those will be something where they can update those as well. Like I said, this would make updating stuff a lot better, and if you're not leaving your Xbox experience on your gaming machine or computer or handheld, and you could just stand there and go check for updates for every single thing on your machine or computer, that would be a lot better to do than popping out and popping back in for some people. Me, not the biggest deal, but it would be a lot better. Because pretty soon, upcoming, I think either not this week, but the next week, there's Update Tuesday or Patch Tuesday, when all the big Microsoft patches and updates come out on Tuesday, and you're going to have to update all your Windows PCs, if you like it or not, because that's what happens. And I hear it's a big one coming up this upcoming 2 Tuesdays from now. So not this Tuesday, but the following, next Tuesday. Ubisoft no longer plans to release a second Assassin's Creed Shadows expansion. I didn't even know they came out the first expansion. I heard it was coming, but I guess it was coming out. I still got to play the game, so it really doesn't matter too much for me because it's a long game, I hear. But Ubisoft has confirmed it no longer plans to launch a second major Assassin's Creed Shadows expansion, something that previously would have formed part of the game's now abandoned season pass. That's pretty sad on Ubisoft's part. Shadows first, and now it seems only major expansion launched in September. The 10-hour Claws of Awaji, I think that's how you say it, had previously been described as the first expansion included in Shadows Season Pass, an offer that was formally scrapped a year ago when Ubisoft delayed the game's launch from November 2024 to February 2025. I remember when they pushed it back a bit. As an apology to fans for the game's delay, Ubisoft stated it instead would gift Claws of Awaji for free to all pre-order customers, but fans still assumed a second expansion would follow at some point, as has become custom for every major Assassin's Creed title over the past decade. But as you know, Ubisoft is not doing so well right now, and they're being split off and chopped up, and they're not doing too hot. You know, the Guillemot family isn't doing too hot with their company, should I say? Especially now that they're owned partially by the Saudis, and it's half Saudi funded. So they're stating right now, as of now, at this moment for year 2, there is no expansion on the size of Awaji that is planned. Associate Game Director Simon Lemme Comtois stated in an interview. He captivated his answer to nothing, noting some exceptional examples in the past where Ubisoft had changed its plans to make more add-on content than originally envisioned, such as the recent Saudi-funded DLC that arrived 2 years post-launch for Assassin's Creed Mirage. But currently it seems clear that no second expansion is on the cards as of yet. You never know. And there's no suggestion that Shadow's post-launch plans will extend into a year 3. And yes, yeah, they like to make a lot of expansions and DLCs for their stuff, but I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't even start playing the game yet, so it doesn't mean nothing for me. Well, I even played the DLC expansion. I don't think I did for Odyssey, I know Odyssey had an expansion, I think. I don't think I played it. I just played the main story. Does the DLC for a Ubisoft game even really matter? Does it go farther beyond what the game is? Because usually I just get satisfied after completing the main game and stuff like that, and I'm done. And I don't like when I beat Diablo 4 not too long ago. I was done. It has expansions and stuff. They're promoting it and trying to entice me to buy it for like $12-$14. And I'm like, I got my Diablo 4 in. I played a ton of it. I had fun with it. I'm done. It's time to move on to another game. You know, it depends. If you're really a big, huge fan of just Assassin's Creed games, maybe this is a blow to you. But like I said, it's Ubisoft, and Ubisoft right now is not really they're not really that good of a gaming company, you know, as of right now. They got their hits, they got their misses. I think Assassin's Creed Shadows, what I played of it, the very small portion I've played of it so far, is pretty fun, which is why I'm going to probably be playing that on Friday as a GameOn game. But yeah, I don't know. I think not every game has to have expansion packs. I think you should just have the game you want to make and have an ending to it sometimes, and then just end it. If you want to come back to like that game again down the road, and if you want to make a new game based off that game or something, go ahead. If you got more story or something, you feel like you can make more of a game for that, you know, go ahead. But if not, I think always saying, well, we got another expansion pack we want to put out this expansion pack so we can make more money and push this game along. You don't always have to keep pushing your games along. The games are meant to be played, and then when they're done being played, they're done being played. I don't get why that's a big deal to these companies. It's like, no, we got to make sure people are still involved with this game, even though it's just a single-player game or something. We got to add DLC to this. We got to keep them invested. It's like, no, I already bought your game, dude. I paid you money for your game. I'm having fun with the game. When I'm done with the game, I'm done with the game. If you didn't have extra stuff to be made for that game as is, and you just want to create more stuff so you can try to charge me more money to play more of this game and stuff, no. I never always cared about that too much. Not in many of these games. And for super long games, as like I hear, just like Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Shadows, I hear it's a very long game. I think I'm going to get burned out when I'm done playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I'll get what I want to get out of it. And probably don't need to go back in and play DLC. And maybe Ubisoft should come up with some different ways to, get people's money. I don't know. Make smaller, larger games. I don't know. They always had a problem with that. They always like, we're going to pump out 20 Assassin's Creed games and stuff like that. Luckily for them, Assassin's Creed, like I said, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was what brought me back into Assassin's Creed, because I didn't really care about Assassin's Creed that much. I tried the original Assassin's Creeds. They were okay. They weren't the best. Then I never completed them. And then this Odyssey came around. I fell in love with that. I loved playing that. I played a lot of that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I want to play that. That's the next one after Odyssey. I played like 2 seconds of it, but I just really never got into it yet, because I'm like, well, Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming, because this is when Assassin's Creed Shadows was coming as well. And I'm like, I got it. So I got Valhalla, but who knows if I'll ever whenever I play that one. But I wanted to play Assassin's Creed Shadows because I'm like, oh, this is feudal Japan. This is awesome. I cannot wait to get in this and play this son of a bitch right here. And got the lady samurai, and you got the big giant Yusuke guy, whatever he is. He's not a samurai. He's or is he a samurai? Or he's shoot, I forgot. Something else. He might be a samurai too, but he's his own thing, and he's a big broody guy, and he looks pretty cool and badass. And I'm like, okay, I cannot wait to play this, and that's all I want to play. That's why I chose to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it feels right now like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, like in a way, and I just got to play more of it. Like I said, this Friday I will be playing more of that. Assassin's Creed Shadows Attack on Titan crossover launches, or has launched, I should say, from November 24th. Players will be able to make a new free mission, will take on a new free mission and purchase a series of in-game items, but you'll need to act quickly as the Attack on Titan mission content will only be live until December 22nd. The hit anime media franchise Attack on Titan is the second crossover for Assassin's Creed Shadows, following the game's earlier Dead by Daylight collaboration. Similarly, that offered up a simple mission which lasted around 15 minutes, and then let you pay to adorn Shadow's main characters in themed cosmetics if you choose. So that's what it's doing. So a series of other non-crossover story missions have also been added to Shadows for free since launch. See, I just don't know about all this stuff because I haven't been playing it, because I've been playing other stuff right now, and they haven't really promoted this stuff too much. I noticed this because I read this on the article, but I wonder what this Attack on Titan thing is. And I don't know if I can even play it because I'm so early on into this, into Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't think I'm going to ever play this. And who knows if they'll ever bring this back. It kind of sucks that it's only for a limited time, and they just don't let you just keep it in the game. Why, Ubisoft? Why is this only time limited? Just give it to them in the game and let people have it in the game. You know, I don't get why it's time limited. Unless if they're planning on bringing it back at some point. I don't know. Or put it in a special collector's edition where they say, oh, this is coming with this stuff or whatever. Which is always stupid. Just keep it in the game. If you're putting it in the game for free, let us have it in the game. Stop taking it out. Stop putting it in and taking it out. I don't like that. That's so disgusting. And I like Attack on Titan. I like that anime a lot. I watched that whole anime. It was amazing. I own the whole anime. It's amazing and amazingly expensive to own. But Jesus Christ, come on, Ubisoft. Slipping and falling like that. I hate when companies do that. Oh, we're going to print this, but it's only going to last a month or something. It's like that Fortnite shit when everybody's complaining, oh, how long is Fortnite Simpsons going to last? Oh, it's going to be gone pretty soon? Oh, no. Why don't they just keep it in there as a side thing? You know, a lot of stuff like that. It's annoying. And they should say, well, maybe we'll bring it back sometime. Maybe we'll bring it back for a Simpsons Day or something. I don't know. I don't like it when companies do that, because then it's like making gamers feel bad if they don't have the time or money or energy to play these games. And if they want to get into something, they can't because there's just so much shit just flying at them all the time. And it's just like crazy. That feels like what Fortnite does with their stuff. And for me, because I haven't really gotten into Assassin's Creed Shadows that much, to me, it's like, okay, whatever. You know? That's what I feel like. Sega suggests expectations for definitive editions of games could be behind disappointing launch sales. So Sega pointed to customer expectations for definitive editions as one potential cause behind lower than expected sales for some of its recent games. So apparently the shares haven't been so good at Sega right now because, you know, they're talking about Sega states a number of elements could be contributing to the disappointing returns, including competition from other releases within the same genre, as well as launch prices. The gaming publisher also suggests gamers could be passing on purchasing games at launch due to the expectation they will eventually be able to purchase definitive editions of those same titles further down the line. Yeah, because when all you MFers create all this extra content and then you create a definitive edition down the line, yeah, a lot of people hold off on that stuff. I do sometimes, like with Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. Even though the recent Mortal Kombat 1 did not do that. They did not have a definitive edition come out, at least not yet. And I bought the DLC for that. So I bought Mortal Kombat 1 and a DLC. And the DLC was kind of but it was cheap. So I wanted the extra characters. So I bought that DLC for that. But yeah, people do think that because they want the complete editions of these. And when they're pushing stuff like, oh, Persona 4 and 5, which received golden and royal versions a few years after, and then you got, Persona 3, and then they put out on a whole bunch of other platforms, and then they announced right after that, they announced, oh, we got a Persona 3 Reload coming, and it's like, oh, okay. I got that as well. I got to tell you, I got Persona 3 and Persona 3 Reload, which of course I'm going to play the Reload version because why not? Yeah, they do that a lot, and it's annoying. Let's see here. Trying to look here. Then they got like I said, they also got the Yakuza series where they're coming out with better editions of the Yakuza games and stuff. I'm like, okay, guys, why don't you just remaster them and just put them out? Why is it like this recent one, which I am going to purchase, of course, Yakuza 3/Dark Tides, game, which has Dark Tides as its non-DLC prequel story gameplay that they're adding to it and stuff like that. And of course they're updating Yakuza 3 and stuff. And I'm like, I just played that motherfucker. And Yakuza 3 is okay. It's not my most favorite Yakuza game in the series, but I'm like, okay. And it's like, why don't you just work on the new Yakuza games? You can update all these Yakuza games and give us all a nice little package for all the Yakuza games if you want to remaster all of them. But come on, do we really need to just be trying to suck money? I was happy when these Yakuza games finally came to Xbox for PC so I could play them and get achievements and stuff from them. That was fun. And I haven't played a Yakuza game in a little while, which is crazy for me. I still got some of them I want to replay, which I got all the because when I got the PC versions, they got their own separate achievements. So I gotta go back and play some of the other ones. I think I got to play 5 or 6 or something like that. I forgot which one, but it's crazy when they keep doing this, and it's just like it's money grabs. But I don't know if because they know people will buy them, and they know, okay, we can update this and make it available for more people down the road. I can understand if they want to make it available for more people down the road, but maybe they should they should code it in a way where it could be easily just remastered up and stuff, and it could be the same game, and down the road when it goes to new platforms and stuff that are higher grades or whatever, then it just adapts to that, you know what I mean? Instead of just trying to keep putting out more and more shit that people got to buy, but they like that because then they're like, oh, maybe people will buy it. But then you got things like this where Sega says, whoa, yeah, people are not buying as much of our games because they're like saying that we got to wait for these remasters or these Game Plus things and stuff like that. And, because the gaming dollar is very tight nowadays, and we want the best gaming experience that our money can buy. So, of course, we might wait for stuff like that. So I wouldn't put it past people from holding off on stuff like that. And of course, it hurts Sega's bottom line because they're not getting the sales that they want because people are like me would wait. Also, Sega details current gen upgrade prices for existing owners of Yakuza 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. Of course, they're not coming for free, people. So the improved games are coming to PS5, Series X and S, and Steam on December 8th. Sega detailed the upgrade plans for its upcoming current gen releases of Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Kiwami 2. All 3 games are currently available on Switch 2, so Sega Raigaku Studio have been working on updating the PS4, Xbox One, and Steam versions to bring them to modern platforms. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut adds new cutscenes, which provide more insight into some of the characters, but I already played that game, so I'm already done with that. As well as a new English dub, a new online co-op red light mode. See, when these things come out later, because they were talking about the Yakuza 0 upgrades and stuff, but when these things come way later, you either got to hold off or wait, or you played it and you're done. And they're talking about Yakuza 0 Director's Cut will cost $50 if you don't own it, but if players who have the digital version of Yakuza 0 on PS4, Xbox One, or Steam will be able to upgrade to the Director's Cut for $15 more. So you're telling me I got to pay you guys another $15 fucking dollars to get this upgrade. This is when people get upset and they're like, oh my God, just give us the one copy. That's why people usually wait, because then they're like, oh, so I got to spend $50 and then I could get another. Then if I own it already, I got to spend another $15 on this, even though I bought it already. Yeah. And it should be like $5 or something, if that. The updated Yakuza Kiwami adds the songs Receive You Reborn and Bleed, which weren't included in the original West release of the game, as well as added text language support and all the other stuff that isn't English. Not that I care. The current gen version of Yakuza Kiwami will cost $20, but players who own the digital version on PS4 or Xbox One will be able to upgrade to the PS5 or Xbox Series X and S version for $1.99. Oh, that's good. There you go. $1.99, because you're not getting all that extra stuff. Because they're doing a lot more with Yakuza Director's Cut, so that's why they're doing it for $15 with the edited cutscenes and stuff, which I still don't think that's worth $15, maybe $5. And then this stuff is just text and stuff like that, so of course they're adding it. Yeah, but it's just them trying to get a little bit more money out of you. What can I say? But I will be purchasing that Yakuza 3/Dark Tides updated version of the game. So unfortunately, shamelessly, I will be playing that game again, if I like it or not. And I played that already 2 to 3 times already, that game. And it's, like I said, to me, it's like one of the other weakest types Yakuza games in the series, but I'm going to play because I want to see the new visuals and stuff and new things in it, and I want to play Dark Tides. So unless if they just sell Dark Tides separately. But then, yet again, if this is being sold as a separate game, this is probably going to have a whole separate set of achievements and stuff. So, yeah. Plus, I got a remote play it on my ROG Ally, on my Xbox ROG Ally X, because it's only coming to Xbox gaming consoles, not to PC, unless if you get the Steam version, which doesn't give me achievements. So there's that too. Because another thing that these companies stupidly like to do is say, oh, well, sometimes we want people to have an experience on this, so we'll put it on the console only and not this PC for Xbox thing. And then even though we had all our other Yakuza games on PC for Xbox, and it's like, why are you doing this now when you could have just put it on there and it costs you nothing until you sell the game? It makes no sense to me, folks. It has no sense, no business sense whatsoever when they only put it on one part of a platform but not the other. Even though Microsoft charges these publishers way less to publish games on their Xbox for PC store and stuff, because they want people to publish more games for that instead of like 30% from Steam or somebody else. Makes me wonder what these companies think of. Cyberpunk 2077 has now sold 35 million copies. Currently, CD Projekt's main source of revenue 5 years after launch. You would think they would be making other little projects and games and such on top of that. But I understand why they don't, because they're only like a studio of, what did they say right now? Of 135 people, up from 116. So basically right now they got Let's see here. Its financial briefing, CD Projekt stated it was laying the foundations for Cyberpunk 2, outlining plans to scale up its development teams in Boston, Warsaw, and Vancouver, and through to the end of 2027. 135 people were working on Cyberpunk 2 as of October 31st, 2025, up from 116 at the end of July. So not many people right now working on it. Let's see here. So it's still in very early development. And they're talking about this game will probably not come out until like maybe even we won't even hear about this game until 2027 at the earliest. If it even comes out in 2027, might not be until 2028. They say it's going to be a while. Let's just say that. Because don't forget, they got the new Witcher game coming pretty soon. What's it called here? Does it say right in here or no? Trying to see if they got the Witcher game coming here. Hold on. Witcher 4. Yes, let's see here. CD Projekt is, of course, focusing on The Witcher 4, and CD Projekt's co-CEO Michael Nowakowski has suggested Cyberpunk 2 won't be out until at least 2030. Okay, there we go. Out until 2030. Holy shit. I'm going to be old. I'm going to be 40 what? 39 now, 40, 41, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to be almost 50. I don't want to know. I don't want to know that. Shit. According to the company's latest official figures, 447 staff were working on The Witcher 4, a figure slightly up from the previous quarter. That still seems light. When you got other companies like Ubisoft and EA and Microsoft Studios and stuff, and you got like a good 900,000 people on games like this stuff, that seems very light on this staff, especially for something like The Witcher 4 that they're working on now. Unless if they know something we don't, which I wouldn't say they do, because you remember how Cyberpunk launched back in the day. It was broken and janky. I still played it and beat it. And then everybody was hating on it until they got it updated and fixed. And then everybody was loving it after. And then they were like, oh, we got a remaster of it. And everybody's clamoring to that and buying that like crazy. And I'm like, I already played it. I already beat it. The only thing that was really broken for me in Cyberpunk 2077 was the music. I couldn't get the music working. It worked for a bit and then it crapped out and then it never came back. And I was like, well, this game has definitely got no music with it because it doesn't work. That was a bummer. Let's see here. GTA 6 gameplay leak proves things are getting out of hand. Oh, because of the fakery that is the Grand Theft Auto 6 fake outs that people are doing out there because of AI. There you go. That's another thing that AI does a lot of bad on, that Rockstar and everybody else hates about, is these fake AI footage from GTA 6 presenting it as a real thing and stuff like that. Yeah, they don't like that. They don't like that at all. So I guess a lot of people are making out GTA 6 hoaxes and stuff of videos and photos and stuff, and it's not from it, and it's a bunch of AI-generated content. Is abundant offer presented as the real thing. And they don't want that because they don't want people to think their game looks like AI crap. You know, they want it to look like what they're making it as. And it's not helping Rockstar or Take-Two or anybody out there because of, you know, they've been pushing GTA 6 back over and over and over again. It's just them doing that over and over again. So, you know, they're doing it to themselves. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There's got to be some turmoil because they've been having some worker issues, employee issues over at Rockstar. They've been doing shit to their employees. And frankly, you know, I I can say, yeah, sure, maybe the employees aren't the best, but the people at Rockstar are brutally horrible over there. And they have a reputation of being brutally horrible at Rockstar. Look at Leslie Benzies. I said this before. His new company and stuff, he's fucking horrible as a CEO. And that Mind's Eye went tanked, and then he's fucking just horrible to his employees and stuff like that. He came from the Rockstar family, you know? So he's just as horrible as all the rest of them over there. And, you know, with all their stupid extra secrecy, they're like how Nintendo does with all their franchises and shit, where they're always like blocking people from streaming this, doing that, and all that. And they get so worked up and so lawyered up for all this shit. It just hurts them and their reputations in the long run. Sure, protecting your IP is good, but you're not helping your IP out when you keep pushing shit back and keep locking shit down and not letting people see what the final is. And I don't know why. Maybe, like I said, maybe sometimes these people take way too long to make these games, and maybe sometimes they put too much effort into stuff that maybe they shouldn't. Maybe these games should be out a little sooner, and maybe these games shouldn't be as big as they are. Like I said, I hope GTA 6 comes out and it looks and plays fantastically, phenomenally well in 2026 of November of next year, if that's even going to be a thing. Shit, maybe they'll have some memory issues and they can't get the game done because their memories cost them too much. I don't know. But we'll wait and see and find out. Because usually they're the ones that were making the jokes. Now the jokes is basically on them for that stuff. And it's just crazy. You know what else is crazy? Saudi Arabia is reportedly running low on cash for investments following the EA deal. Whoa. Hold on. Oh boy, the Saudis can't pay their bills. Saudis are running low on that oil money. Oh shit. So I guess the EA deal is costing them a lot of money, I guess. I thought they were just borrowing it from banks. So, okay. So Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or PIF, is reportedly running low on cash for new investments due to some of its projects being in financial distress, which most of their financial projects are mostly in the gaming industry, because they've been spending a lot of money on video games and game companies and shit like that. So that makes sense. So the Saudi PIF has made sweeping investments in recent years, and is central to Crown Prince Mohammed's bid, Salam's goal of making the Saudi economy less reliant on proceeds from oil, because they think they're going to run out of oil money, which could happen if they run out of oil there. You know, if they run out of oil, apparently people still think that, eventually we're not going to be using oil in the future. And I'm like, not so fast. I think we're going to be using oil for a very long time. So, I don't know. I think they're going to still be making money on oil. I know the oil prices have fluctuated from barrel to barrel. And, of course, we got our tariffs on Russia and everybody else over there and stuff. And that's making the price of barrels of oil from Saudis a little cheaper and stuff. But, hey, they're still making money. Still got more money than us in this country. But that includes numerous investments in the video game industry, including stakes in game publishers like Take-Two and Nintendo, and the recent $55 billion deal to take control of Electronic Arts. However, according to the New York Times, the PIF could be set to close its wallet for the time being due to several projects that are being in financial distress. According to people briefed on its operations, those projects include Neom, a vast region and ski resort featuring robotic workers, a coffee chain with one shop so far. So that ain't technically a coffee chain when you only got one shop. So you can't call it a coffee chain. And a ski resort? Where? In the desert? They're pumping the snow in too? From Alaska? What? A cruise line with one ship. So basically, these are half efforts on their parts of these things. An electronic vehicle startup that has yet to deliver a car. I can see that's a lot of waste of money right there with those things in general. According to the New York Times sources, the PIF is actively restructuring its operations, and the prince has fired the head of at least one of its projects, Neom. It is also said to be drawing up plans to invest more in conventional areas like publicly traded stocks. Oh boy, have fun with that, Piff. When the stock market bubble pops from the AI, you guys are going to lose a lot of money in the stock market, that's for sure. So hopefully they're not going to invest in AI, because if they do and that pops, bye, Piff. The largest investment by Piff recently was the bid for FIFA and Battlefield publisher, Electronic Arts. Piff's representatives state it's a long-term investment that will eventually double in value. Or not, and then you'll just end up chopping it up into bits and selling it off into pieces because you guys can't afford anything else. Yeah, I can see that as well. I can definitely see that as well. So, I don't know, folks. To me, I think, companies and people should not be relying on stock markets and video game industry investments, because it doesn't seem very good right now, especially with AI bullshitting everything across the board, and then you got the chips and all that not being able to be made, and storage prices going up through the roof, and other electronics, and then you got rare earth minerals and stuff being held back, and so on and so on and so on. Everything that creates everything that you see here. Everything that helps me create everything. Luckily for now, I got everything I have and need to do my stuff. But when the future comes, is it going to be a bright future, or is it going to be a bleak future? But I find it funny when you got the Saudis that are rich in oil money saying, well, we got to hold back. Our PIF fund ain't looking so good. We got to hold it. We're going to close our wallets. Hearing a Saudi saying closing their wallets is like being stripped of your royal wares. They never would say that. They don't. Them buying all those super expensive Audis and what are they called? What's that other super stupid car that's super expensive? You know, super expensive cars and stuff like that, and going to super expensive parties. I'm guessing the Crown Prince is going to have less of those super expensive parties nowadays. He's got to tighten his wallet, got to tighten the belt. The Saudi prince says, "Oh boy, this oil money is going away quick. I gotta tighten the belts because nobody wants to buy our oil if we're keeping it too expensive. Oh boy, getting pressure across the EU and America. Those Americans are greedy. They want more of our oil because they don't want to pump their own. So they're tightening our belts." The way the economy is across the board, it's crazy, especially in video games. But I find that funny. And it makes me say, good, at least the Saudis can't buy more fucking video games in the video game industry. They can't buy off more of the video game industry. But then we got to worry about the other side, the Chinese side, Tencent and stuff. They could still be going for more video game companies and such. And if they get a hold of that shit and take it over or whatnot, that could go back to China and then you'll never see it again. That's something we got to be worried about because they're still kind of, I think, investing. I don't know, but they're still being held back because of, you know, U.S. sanctions and stuff like that. And a lot of these companies are U.S. bound and stuff. Unlike like Cyberpunk and CD Projekt, which is like a Polish company, which I found out is more Polish than I would have known. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on. The turmoil that is video games. In this crippling industry. That's why I called this podcast a crippling industry, because it is being crippled left and right. And for us in the middle that just want to enjoy a game, that just want to either turn on our computers, our ROG allies, whatever, and just play a game, We don't want to be bothered with all that hassle and hoopla. We just want to enjoy our games. We just want to enjoy our games, the stories, the open worlds, the fun. Not to hear all this stuff that I'm talking about. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Yeah. So, with that said, folks, before I end the show, I think I'm going to play, I think The Outer Worlds 2 is going to be my Let's Play choice of this week. That's probably what I'm going to be posting this Wednesday for a Let's Play is going to be The Outer Worlds 2. And of course, like I said, this Friday for my GameOn live stream, it is going to be Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I got to play a little bit of it now because I got to get some video footage from my GameOn starter. So I got to make the starter for GameOn Shadows or GameOn Shadows for Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I got to play some of the game hopefully today. And like I said, I want to get back into some more Outer Worlds 2. And it's been a while since I played a lot of that, so I got to get back into that. And of course, I'll be playing more other games and titles and such. But that's what I'm focused on. It's got to be Assassin's Creed Shadows and Outer Worlds 2. And I got to focus on that stuff because I've been playing, like I said, more simulator games, more of this and that. But I got to focus on that stuff. And as a little teaser, I'm not going to fully mention it now, but I am creating a new show, which is not going to be anywhere like, like I tried to do the Gamez Newz Now show, and then I kind of ended it abruptly because I didn't have time to do it. This one will be like coincide with like my Let's Plays and my Game-Ons and stuff, because I usually play, sometimes I like to play a game all the time, and I like to fully complete the game, and I like to show off my full gameplay of stuff like that once in a while. And I'm like, you know what? I want to make a whole new like category and banner on my YouTube pages and sites and stuff on a new like show where it's just me playing through a whole game, and I'm just playing through the whole game and not just having it, one day it's a Let's Play, one day it's a Game On show, and then I just have the game in its own category. Well, this time I'm thinking of having a new show that's just around a whole game that I'm going to play through, and that I'll play through the game, and it'll be all the episodes will be just that one game in that show thing. And it could be a live show, it could be a regular recorded show, it doesn't matter. Like I used to do with the Game-Ons and stuff. And it just makes it easier for me to, when these videos go up, and plus on top of it, it makes it more organized for you, the people that want to watch these shows. And if you want to watch me play through a whole game or something, like I did the last time, I think my last full game that I played through was it Final Fantasy 13 or something like that? It was Final Fantasy, I think. I think that was the last full playthrough of a game. I don't know if I had another. No, wait, did I play? I played through Skyrim, but I already was in Skyrim. And what else? There was another game I was playing a lot through, but otherwise, my full playthrough was probably of like Final Fantasy, but I want to keep doing that going forward. So I want to just do it all in one video show. So that's a teaser. That's not going to happen for a little while. I still got to create some art for it and stuff. I already know the name. I'm not going to mention the name, but I got the name. I got the whole... I have my first game that I'm going to play through as well. But until I get the art done, which could be sooner and later, who knows? We'll see how it goes. Because I like to create album art and stuff for it. Then I'll mention it and I'll let you guys know. And it'll be in like a new category for my shows, so I just don't do Let's Plays and Game-Ons. I can have a show dedicated to me just playing through whole types of games, like others do out there. And I like to do that. So, everybody, the podcast is now over. It is a little shorter than usual, but it's still over 2 hours long, which is crazy. Because I thought I'm still on that goal of trying to get my podcast to like 1 hour or less, but I don't think that's going to happen. But anywho, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me on this show. This has been a great podcast. If you want to, like I said, I got the Asus ROG Ally X article. It's up on my OldFreakyGamer.com website. You can watch the video at OldFreakyGamer.com or YouTube my YouTube channel at OldFreakyGamer on YouTube. And you could go click the link and you could go to the article. I also have my Mr. Mike tip jar over at OldFreakyGamer.com. If you want to tip me a little something, if you feel like I'm worth a little bit of money, throw a few shekels my way. You know, very easy, very simple. If you don't have the money, I don't require it, but it's something if people want to, you know, show me a little love, and some people do. And I feel really good to that, because then I put that money right back into this stuff that I do. My, as I call it, my lifelong hobby. Not a business, but a hobby. And, yeah, until next time, folks, I'm Mr. Mike, and staying game on, game hard, world conquest. I'm pushing this gaming button, and the show is now game over. So everybody, peace.
Pixels flicker neon bright, old freaky gamer plays all night. Joystick in one hand, fries in the other. He's the king of one more level, brother. Press start, he's in the zone. His throne's a squeaky chair alone. Old freaky gamer, he's got the knack. Blasting through the game's attack. Level up and don't look back. Old freaky gamer on the track. 8-bit dreams and a 16-bit past. His reflex is slow, but his will is fast. Button mashing like a man possessed.
Game over.